for the UK and European Union. That does not mean, however, that if you're in North America like myself or anywhere else that you're not allowed to participate. We're just doing this show now as one of our weekly shows to try to make it slightly more accessible to those abroad. So at the end of the day, keep it real, keep it sexy. Let's get this show started. Let's get back to the beginning here as we typically do. There's my alarm going off to say that it is showtime. There we go. Let's go to the beginning here and say hello to everybody. What's happening? Operation Annihilation. Stephen Norton. I don't know if you're new here. What's this all about? Well, it's a natural hangout, chill out, answer questions with Uncle Potsquatch. This show is the earlier one we do on Mondays for the European Union and the UK now. All right. What's up, Soul Price? What's up, Ganjanana, your mama? All right. What's happening? Do I miss anybody? I don't think I did. What's up, UK Flower Power? How's it going, my friend? Good to see you. What's up, Chris Barton? Good to see you, my friend. What's up, Grimity? All right. So I hope everyone's having a wonderful day, here. I think I may. What's up, Hubert Barton? Good to see you, buddy. I just switched it to live chat, so it's not just top chat. So I'm going to see if I've missed anyone. Nope. We are good. What's happening, Staggering Productions? Things are going really well here, at Uncle Potsquatch's lair of solitude. What's up, 60s butt? We're slowly drying our cannabis. It's all sitting here. I mean, I do have the lights on for the show, but 1 hour of things being on isn't going to be a big deal. So we're just slowly but surely drying away. We're maintaining a relative humidity of about 55 to 60 in here, cooler temperatures as well, and it's coming along quite nicely. So as these are drying out, I slowly but surely harvesting all the last seed from the crosses that we did. So today I'm going to finish the K-Town Kush by Cheese, and I'm going to do my darndest to do an entire plant today, which would then leave only one plant left to do, which will be that Kaitunga to Canadian White Russian into itself, where we're trying to kind of stabilize it out. Even though it's a Sat Dom, it's got kind of these structural elements of this one female that I found that was very indica-y and kind of shorter and squatter, So I'm trying to kind of play with it that way. So we've got that to kind of harvest too. And then hopefully by the time that's done, we'll have the lab all cleaned up. We will then move on to trimming the weed titties and then curing the weed titties. And that's going to be sort of something that we're getting ready there. And it's all working out perfectly in terms of timelines as well, because we will have this ready for the 420 event that we're actually going to be at now. Another big shout out to Glenn Wells and Canamatch.ca for offering up a table for us to come and be present. So we're going to be bringing all the hats, the t-shirts. We're going to have Bud there. We're going to have some seeds there. We're going to have the whole crew there. We're going to be doing some fun. We're going to be doing some live streams as well. At least, leading up to 420. And then, because it's such an amazing thing to see how many people show up to these events and how much pot actually ends up getting smoked at 420. Like, if you ever see footage from an airplane flying through Vancouver on 420, when it hits 420, it's like this giant cloud just lifts out of the city. It's really quite astonishing to see. What's up, Dale Skiochi? Good to see you. What's up, Staggering Productions? Derek Cloud, good to see you. What's up, Ashley Clifford? Good to see you. Grown Up Grows, good to see you. Marky, good to see you, buddy. All right. So basically, we're just kind of in between times right now in terms of our runs. So waiting for this to dry so we can trim. Basically, once I get the seeds harvested and done, then I'll move on to beginning to get the next seeds kind of ready. I'm also gearing up outside, so we're actually going to kind of do a bunch of vegetable growing this year outside. We're going to be making videos about that. Part of making those videos as well is to offer up content that the YouTube algorithm doesn't in fact persecute. So it's an experiment. It's a social experiment, shall we say, in terms of how the artificial intelligence associated with YouTube and algorithms, etc. run. What's up, Marvin's Garden? Good to see you, buddy. What's up, Happy Grower? Good to see you, my friend. Hey, we're just chilling. It's smelling good up in here. Slowly but surely getting ready to enter into the trim world. And one of the things I'm looking forward to on this trim jail is the fact that we're going to be trimming a bunch of different phenotypes, right? So it'll be interesting to see how they, in fact, compare and contrast. Hey, what's up, Alvin Mace? Well, I hope the job is going well. And yeah, no, don't worry. Mikey will be good to go when you are. He will be unavailable. Well, he'll be available, but he's going on a little trip for about a week there, Alvin. So he'll be back in roughly a week as of tonight. What's up, Electro New Illuminati? Good to see you, my friend. All right. Hey, congratulations. Dude, that's awesome, Electro Illuminati. I'm glad you're in that new place, and I hope it does well for you as well. Yeah, so we're going to be doing veggie videos outdoors. Yeah, so we're not going to be growing any cannabis outdoors because our licensing here for my medical licenses is strictly indoors. But we're going to be growing as much sort of food as we can outside. Now, I mean, the one thing I'm usually pretty good at when it comes to growing outdoors in terms of food is tomatoes. I'm good at tomatoes. I think last year we did about 1,300 tomatoes on 6 plants. So we're going to be doing some tomatoes. I'm going to try to do some broccoli, some cauliflower, some beans, maybe some squashes. We're going to have our strawberry plants kicking back into action again and doing all that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? So, that'll all be stuff that we're going to be doing as videos, just to also kind of, play with the YouTube algorithm and kind of do that. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I'm going to be doing some super sweet quick corn, which is a Canadian style of corn, or I guess you could say breed of corn. So I'm gonna try to do it. I don't know how well it'll work. It'll be interesting to see if it does or not. We will have some peppers going as well. Last year the peppers didn't do very well. Certain things don't do well in where we live, but we will be doing that as for fun and shit like that. Well, it's funny, Metro Illuminati. Like, a lot of people struggle with tomatoes here too. A lot of people who are my neighbors really struggle with tomatoes. I've never struggled with tomatoes. My tomatoes just seem to go for it. Who knows, right? But yeah. Yeah, well, Electro Illuminati. I mean, corn is hit or miss. I've never actually grown corn myself. So it's going to be more of an experiment. We're going to see what happens, right? I don't expect to be producing a crap ton of corn, but hey, if we could even get a half dozen ears out of a few plants, that'll be okay. Part of corn working is you got to stack it properly and have it in rows. There's kind of a couple of spots there where I'm thinking I might just throw some corn out just to see what it does for fun. What's up, Cadillac Jack? What's up, Eugene Dolan? What's up, Stoney? Anyone I miss saying hi, hello to you as well. Well, and also Electro Illuminati. You got to remember, with certain seeds, if they're super old, you know what I mean. They will take their sweet time there. Reverend Veritas, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for your donation. It really does very much help us keep the lights on here. I can never truly explain how much it helps, actually. And I that's for me as a young kid, Reverend Veritas. That's how I began growing as well. The little vegetable gardens with my mom and playing around with that. Christus Frossaren. What's happening, man? I only do regular seeds typically. So Christus Frossaren. Most of all of our grows we've ever done publicly have always been photos. We will be eventually doing a small on the side auto run just for fun. We've had some auto seeds that have been sent in to us by some of our fellow Potsquatches, so we're gonna be doing those eventually. But no, I grow photos though. That's my jam. What's up, Henry Montgomery? Good to see you. All right. No, well, it's like, Stoney at Bigger MD. I've been trying not to get into the beers too early, but I do have a rum and coffee here. So I'm just having a nice coffee there because I got to be productive today after the show. I got to get into finishing harvesting the seeds, organizing the lab. I've got to do some inventory and start making up plans for the 420. I've got a business meeting coming up soon as well with our business partners. We're going to be bringing a bunch of the CBD in. So we're not going to have tons available at 420 because I don't want to get left holding too much stuff. So we're going to be having at least 100 to 200 packs of our gummies. They're kind of only 4 to a pack, so those will move. We'll probably have 20 of each beard oil. We'll have at least 20 tinctures, maybe 20 of each flavor, hard to say, and then everything else, obviously. But we're going to bring a bunch of that in as well to make kind of our first formal, shall we say, public release of the CBD. I mean, electricity here in Canada is it costs the same as it does before. Our power predominantly is not produced here in Canada from the burning of fossil fuels. Plus, we have a lot of natural fossil fuels ourselves. Our gas has gone through the roof, that's for sure, with the whole issue in terms of the Ukraine situation and the occupation there by the dirty dill holes of the Kremlin and Mr. Putin and his cronies. But the one thing I have noticed is really like power seems to be on point, at least here in Canada, because a lot of ours is fairly green power that we produce here in the country. I will say we actually had a huge reduction on our power bill in the last run, so part of our experiment really worked out, which was reducing power consumption on that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What's up, Grow Guru 2020? Good to see you. What's up, Flower Power? Great 60 term. I agree, Stony Baker MD. I agree. So Hubert Barton, classically, it's classically done at the Sunset Beach downtown. I've heard rumors, I cannot confirm nor deny them, that it may be actually for the first time switching back to its original location at the Art Gallery, but these are only rumors that I've heard circulated out about, so it's hard to say exactly where this event will be going down, but it'll be downtown. And obviously, we will know because we're having one of the official tables gifted to us by Canamatch.ca, who is one of the gold level sponsors of the event with cannabis culture there. So once we know exactly where we're going to be, we're going to let everybody know. So everybody will know exactly where we're going to be. Hey, Pops, if you in town, man, you want to come kick it at the table and help me run it, man, I'd appreciate it. Because I want to have a bunch of us down there kind of, watching things. Because also I'm going to be, fairly busy kind of shooting stuff and all that. You know what I'm saying? Well, actually, Reverend Veritas, you know what I mean? That sounds sexy. I typically make my THC-based tinctures into an olive oil. That's typically what I do. I mean, I can make it into MCT. I just prefer it with an olive oil on that one, but our broad spectrum CBD tincture is an MCT oil as well. So I feel you on that one. How old is my beard? Roughly 3 years, this one. Roughly 3 years or so. She's a little curly today. I didn't straighten it or brush it out too much. So she normally goes a couple inches longer, but I'm also going to be taking it to the barbershop, not to reduce the length, but kind of clean it up through the stash and in the beard my thigh burns there because I got to go to an industry event this week. So I figured maybe show up not looking like a bum. Hey, man, that happens, Tony. Must have been some good shit you was smoking on, you know what I'm saying? What's up, Red Clouds? Good to see you, buddy. Stony, Potsquatch shaved last night. Oh, I definitely agree with the Electro Illuminati. The costs of goods and the fluctuations of global economy is always interesting. 1 second here. What's up, Scotland? How you doing, Ryan McKenzie? Oh, Ray. Hey, Ashley, and you know what? The number one trick to growing your beard is just leave the damn thing alone. Occasionally, maybe, if you got an event to go to, clean it up a little bit through here. Only places I classically will clean it up is kind of through this section here. And then I leave all the meat down here alone. A big trick to growing a big beard, by the way, everybody, don't shave your neck. This under part of your beard is where a lot of length comes from for the guys at home who are trying to grow their first big beards. Yeah, they're looking not too bad, BMK, especially for the fact that we're doing sort of a pheno hunt. A lot of them are kind of sat doms as well, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Hell yeah, no. Fuck yeah, Pops. I mean, we'll be down there, Pops, basically from early on in the morning, and I think the event goes to roughly 8. If we end up super selling out really quick, then maybe we'll leave early, but we'll see what happens. Thank you so much, Eugene Dolan. God damn, Reverend Veritas. Thank you as well. That's right, Reverend Veritas. Our beard oil actually is quite genuinely good. I quite enjoy it. And Christus Frau Saren, thank you. You're new here, and they're already doing the membership thing to help us keep the lights on. Thank you, my friend. Welcome, Christus Frau Saren. If I can ask, actually, where's that last name come from? It sounds kind of Nordic or something. Cool name, though. I dig it. Operation Annihilation says, Uncle Squatch, I know that you have been asked 1,000 times. No, that's cool. I don't mind answering the same questions. But I smoke too much. When will we see your beans for sale and where? So basically, in terms of our beans, we are trying to go legal here in Canada in terms we're legal medical personal grow, but we want to go legal actually in terms of being approved. So our beans are in development now. They will be in development for the rest of my life. We'll be doing tons of things for there. In terms of sales, it's hard to say because I have to be able to afford all of the licensing that is going to be required before I can even apply for licensing. I have to not only buy the land, because don't rent the land, that's how you get screwed being a small company. So we got to buy a plot of land, we got to build the buildings, we got to have everything done, installed, and ready to code before we can even begin that application process. I have been toying around with the idea of seeing if I could get just a single micro nursery license put on my office down here. And if that is a hypothetical possibility, which I'm not sure, I have to call the government and talk to them about it. We might be able to bring seeds illegally to market very soon. And so we will be eventually sold in government retail stores here in Canada, obviously. We will have our own store. We will also make them available via the internet as long as the laws allow for it. It is very much an evolving industry, so we're kind of just watching it as it evolves, working with it, and trying to affect change as we go. But they will be eventually one day available to all the world, at least all countries that have gone sort of the route of legalization. And that's part of why we're going legal, is because we want to be able to actually legally export to other countries as countries open up. So it's a long battle. It's a long thing, but that's one of the things we're working towards there. I hope that helps, by the way, Operation Annihilation. May not be the perfect answer, but it is an honest one. UK Flower Power says, got 2 GGs in week 7 of flower. All right, can't wait. Jars are empty and can't get any good smoke here in the UK. Well, I know that flower can be hit or miss in the UK. I know my times in the UK, it was always hit or miss. I mean, typically I ended up buying a lot of, as you call it, drawer, but hash. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, Electro Illuminati, a big part of getting through growing facial hair is that first 3 to 6 months. And then it becomes a lot easier after the first 3 to 6 months. You know what I mean? I say do it, Stoney. Flower power. I'm into that one too, man. Okay, cool. Christus Fralsaren. I like it. I also enjoy saying it. It's kind of fun. Christus Fralsaren. That's fun. Actually, that is incorrect, Ashley Clifford. Everyone thinks that beans are legal to sell under the Novelty Non-Meant for Germination Act. There is no such law in any country anywhere. True story. That was sort of something I found out years ago, is that whole concept that we all had, that we've been selling beans for like 20 or 30 years internationally and in different places, as it is a novelty item not intended for germination, and we thought that protected us. That's actually not true. That is a complete crock. It is a gray zone thing, but there's next to no actual legal beans in the world right now, which is part of why we are working very hard to then get legal licensing under one of the first countries to actually have proper federal legalization, which is in fact Canada. So other countries that have federal legalization, North Korea, funnily enough, cannabis has been legal in North Korea a long time, which kind of seems like a cruel joke, really. It's like, starve your people, but give them the munchies. I mean, it doesn't make any goddamn sense. And it's legal in a couple of other places, to my knowledge. But full federalization and tradable legal isn't really much of a thing anywhere, except really Canada and North Korea. And there may be, because a lot of the other places, I think it's more of a decriminalization as opposed to a full bore legalization in terms of the way we are in Canada. But yeah, I mean, I hope that makes sense. I don't disagree with Electro Illuminati. And also in terms of the UK, one of my biggest things is the fact that the fact of the matter is that the UK is one of the biggest medicinal cannabis producers in the world, and then it's super illegal for the people and still quite illegal. So I mean, it seems like a really big crock. And that's the problem with a lot of the legislature here in Canada, is they're treating it like it's some controlled substance, this horrible thing under legalization, when it's just a fucking plant. When it's properly produced, it's a fucking plant. It should be available fresh farm to table cannabis, which is actually a legislature passed in BC now. So if you have a craft cannabis license, you can actually sell fresh farm to table cannabis without all the stupid irradiation rules, etc., of Health Canada to government stores, as well as craft growers now are allowed to have a dispensary at their facility. But sadly, for us to get the 3, so basically we want to do 1 craft cannabis license to start and 2 micro nursery licenses. That's our plan. Basically, it'll be not a huge facility. The initial building we will build will be roughly about 3,000 square feet. But sadly, between
the fees of the licensing, which is going to be anywhere from $140,000 to $250,000 Canadian. The land's probably going to cost me anywhere from $200,000 to $800,000 Canadian. Plus, the building is going to be another $200,000 to $300,000 Canadian. So we're looking anywhere from roughly, in a perfect super lucky world, 800 or 900 grand up to about $1.5 million for us to be able to properly go legal. So, I mean, we're working towards it. That's why we're working so hard in terms of the CBD and the beard oil. You know, the beard oil is a huge global market. So if we can even take control of a fraction of a percent, not only will we be able to afford to open up our farm, we'll do our TV show, and then we could probably open up a bunch of farms all at once. It'll be cool, man. What kind of cow, Reverend Veritas? See, I don't want a milk cow. I want a cow I can eat. I like steak. I don't disagree with you at all, Wake and Bake. The one thing I will say, Wake and Bake now, though, we are seeing local, municipal, and provincial legislators starting to get on board, and it's slowly evolving. And if we look at prohibition in terms of alcohol, it took almost 20 years to figure that one out. So I am not worried. Oh, I say it in a perfect Swedish accent as well? Cool. Well, you know, maybe part of why that is, I actually found out that I'm part Swedish. I did that Ancestry.ca shit. I always thought I was a Celtic mudblood through and through, Christus Rossaren. But I found out I'm actually, there's a chunk of me that's Swedish too. I'm about 14 or 15% Swedish. Which was funny because I actually found out I'm part Swedish the day I bought my buddy's Volvo. That was a good deal. Got a good deal on that car. Couldn't turn it down. XT90 fully loaded 2008. Brand new Michelin tires on it. Easily a $10,000 to $15,000 car without inspection. And I got it for $3,000. So I bought that car. I found out I was Swedish that morning, right before I bought it. So Grow Guru 2020. We are endeavoring. I'm trying to remember what the actual MSRP on our tincture is. I feel like it's $40 or something like that. And that would be American, I think. But so it's going to be very affordable. I've been looking into a lot of the prices on different things in the UK. Our oil and our gummies are going to be vastly cheaper than other alternatives on the UK market. CBD is federally totally legal in the UK, so we will be able to export over there. So our boy Mac, Return to the Mac, you know what I'm saying, he's going to be representing us in the UK, getting us into stores. So that will be coming for the people of the UK very, very soon. I mean, they might, Reverend Veritas. It's hard to say. Yes, Ashley Clifford, I know that there's seeds shops in the UK that solely sell seeds, but what I'm telling you is in terms of your legislature, that's actually not legal. It's one of those gray zones, because we had seed stores here too forever. It was only when actual legalization came around that they started kind of cracking down on stuff. No, exactly, like Illuminati, and that's just the reality. Yeah, BMK, don't even get me started on Will Smith acting like a little fucking child. You know, I'm all for standing up for your woman and standing by her that way. But basically, we saw the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air act like a little child and commit violence on a live television broadcast. It's like, bro, that's not how a man handles himself. A man, you know, hey, if you went up and you quietly said in Chris Rock's ear, yo, you just crossed a line, you're upsetting my wife, bro, shut the fuck up and say you're sorry, and then sat back down, that's how a man handles it, man. But acting like a little child with no control over his emotions and committing a violent act on a live television broadcast, damn, Will Smith, I lost a lot of respect for you. Chris Rock, did you push a line? Maybe you should be more sensitive. Yeah, maybe. But at the same time, I actually still thought your joke was funny. And really, you were actually paying her a compliment saying she looked gorgeous with her shaved head. And at the end of the day, you know, shout out to Chris Rock handling that like a champ and just like not, you know, getting violent back, cracking a joke and moving on. So literally very impressed with the professionalism of him, man. So anyway, moving on for that. What's up, John Noir? Good to see you, buddy. Sony Baker MD, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know if you should be able to go to a pharmacy and get it because you know, even though it has medical applications as cannabis, I don't think we should lump cannabis in with chemical-based pharmaceuticals. I don't think we need a pharmacist to be the one where we get our cannabis. I think you should be able to go to like a farmer's market and buy your weed. I think you should be able to go like to a boutique shop and buy your weed, right? Like I don't think cannabis should be something that is sold in a pharmacy. I think we should treat it like the plant that it is, you know. And so that's kind of one of my big hangups with how legalization is approaching this substance. And it's not even a substance, it's a fucking plant, man. Yes, does it have psychoactive elements to it? Yeah, but it's a fucking plant. Get over yourselves. And that's sort of my humble 2 cents on that one. You know what I mean? Yeah, and I've seen that. I've seen similar things as well, Ashley Clifford, in terms of both like sort of the medical cards and the medical system in sort of the United Kingdom. Our boy Stefan Robinson, who does all of our graphic art design for the company. He's a medical patient in Wales, and like, man, when he was telling me some of the money he spent on shit, and then show me pictures of it. Also, one of the things I've noticed too with a lot of the legal medical cannabis in the UK that I've seen and heard about, it's not what they say it is. Like the genetic is just so wrong. It's not even funny. What's the names behind me? I was watching a movie. This is the credits from a movie I was watching called Extreme Movie. It is a horribly vile, sexualized teen type comedy, and it was actually kind of funny. Very vulgar, but I was watching that this morning before the show. So I just paused it before we started the show. But those are people from that movie. It's not great, but it's still one of those fun, cheesy, corny things that, hey, smoke a joint and watch it. What's up, Canadian Bacon? How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Hell yeah, Electro Illuminati. Well, the funny thing about when I found out I was Swedish, right? Like, it tripped me out. And so, when I called my one buddy, and I'm like, man, like, I'm freaking out. Like, I found out I found out that, like, I'm part Viking, man. And he's all like, have you looked in a mirror, bro? You're surprised at this? But I was, because the family story didn't say anything about us having any Nordic lineage. I'm Swedish and Norwegian. And I was like, what? Like, Norway and Sweden are in me, man? That trips me out. I thought I was just a Celtic mudblood. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, magnum opus. I heard rumors about that. I don't know if it's true. I'm not going to speak to that one, but, it was interesting. We'll leave it at that. Yeah, 100% Mud SWAT. I wholeheartedly agree with you. No, Wake and Bake Now, dude. Watching that and watching the reaction of both Will Smith, that and that kind of stuff, and watching the reaction of the big Hollywood moguls that were there at this, that was not a planned PR stunt. That was real, bro. And yes, I agree. He does not, he slaps like a little bitch, Cadillac Jack. He does. And at the end of the day, that was not a planned thing, by the way, everyone. That was very real. And it was shocking to see. And at the end of the day, these animal parts of ourselves as men, right? Like the caveman part, I call it, right? It's an important part. It gives us strength. It gives us a lot of things, but we cannot allow this to be the controlling part of our brains, man. We got to, own and value, but control our emotions. And the fact is, Will Smith, as an actor, you're supposed to be able to not only control your emotions, but utilize them as the paint kit or the tool kit that we use as actors to build character and do that, right? So it's like, man, I was shocked. I definitely lost some serious respect for Will Smith last night. But it is what it is. Do you mean Ricky Gervais? Yeah, well, that's because Jeremiah, Ricky Gervais was brilliant. The Oscars that he hosted, everyone in the industry hated it. I'm in the industry too, and I didn't hate it. I thought it was great. I loved it. Go Ricky Gervais, man. One second here, everybody. I'm just reading. I'm almost caught up, I think. Ashley Clifford, I was a Shakespearean actor since childhood. I'm a professionally trained Shakespearean and stage actor. I do film and television now, have been for at least 10 years. A lot of almost booking things and not quite getting it there, so I'm still fighting to break out. There is a show that'll be coming out this spring called Shadow of the Rougarou. I'm in 3 episodes on that. I play a character named Albert. That's all I could say about it. I was very present in seasons 1 and seasons 2 of Hitler's Last Stand, mainly just being a glorified background actor. I did play one of the lieutenants in one of the episodes that was kind of around this guy in season 2 of Hitler's Last Stand. They invited me to come back for season 3, but they wanted me to shave, and I was like, nah, man, I ain't shaving this for you. Unless you got 50 grand, just cut me a check. I ain't shaving this. So I turned them down respectfully. I've done a lot of independent stuff. I've done a lot of sort of local film here. I'd like to do more. I'd like to do more, but I'm, as a Canadian, often we are filler pieces for American productions, and I'm a character actor, so I mean, I like to do weird. I like to go crazy. I like to do this. I'm not. I don't want to play the dad. I don't want to play the basic generic white bald thug biker. I want something that's going to challenge me and something that I can really grow into and play with and really challenge me as an actor to develop. I'm still fighting for all that. But the good news is we're getting some new headshots down in April. I had a great meeting with my agent the other day. We got a plan, and here's hoping. I'm also going to maybe take a trip down to LA for a little bit and see what we can get going. You know what I'm saying? Well, an MCR, 420 MCR. One of the things I would say in response to that as well is like if you're working out, you're going to the gym, you're running. Cannabis, in terms of like an RSO oil or a traditional hash oil or etc. or CBD, doesn't matter. Great for inflammation. It's great for recovery rates and actually get your body healthy again after you kind of beat the crap out of it. It's all right. Stony Baker MD, do I love orange kitties? I'm assuming you mean cats. And yes, I've only ever owned ginger tabby cats. What's up, Crazy Train? Good to see you, my friend. All right. I got a feeling I'm like really far behind. Uh-oh. Yeah, see, Jeremiah, that was part of my issue with Will Smith, man. He's sending the wrong message to young men everywhere, man. This is not what it means to be man. This is what it means to be like a little boy reacting to your emotions and not being able to control yourself. That's my real comment on that. No. Yeah, after watching it, man, like, nah, that was real, man. That was some legit shit. Stony Baker MD, again, blocking it and then knocking Will Smith out would have been the wrong choice on Chris Rock's part. Chris Rock handled it right and did the right thing. Ha! Oh, Stony. No. So THC bomb. Typically, most of the genetics that I choose to grow have some heavy purpling that happen on them. Especially if it's an indica-based genetic or a genetic that has a lot of indicas going into it. Purple stalks, very prevalent. If you see screaming red stalks, that's going to be a pH lockout issue, a nutritional issue derived from pH. But purple good for most genetics, man. So do not worry. What's up, Dankness Genetics? Oh, there you go, Stony Baker MD. What's up, Karen Sawchuck? How you doing, my friend? Welcome. Hell yeah, Electro Illuminati. And you know what? Hey, man, lion's mane mushrooms are astonishing, especially when it comes to their ability for your actual, cognizant. No, that's not the word. Cognitive powers. There we go. There's the word I was trying to get out of my brain. Hey! Yeah, no, dang, it's genetics. I lost a lot of respect over that. It's like, dude, that is not the way to. That's not the way to set an example for young men, especially when we as men right now are really trying to address certain things that have been issues, because there is a lot of toxic masculinity. There's a difference between masculinity and toxic masculinity. We can still be guys, we can still be tough and have these parts of ourselves that we're proud of, and that make us, right? But at the same time, like, to become a more enlightened male, we gotta, talk about certain things, right? Like for me, myself, when I was a younger man, I had a really bad temper. I spent a lot of my early 20s really angry, and not really kind of blowing up all over the map over stupid shit. So like I've done a lot of work to control my temper, to learn to control my emotions. Doesn't mean they're not there. Doesn't mean that they're not valid. What it does mean, though, is it means that I'm not going to act like a caveman or an ape slapping my chest all the goddamn time. I'm going to also use my head, my heart, and my soul, all in one, kind of unifying thing. And that's what a real man is being smart, knowing how to handle certain situations, controlling our reactionary impulses. Don't act out of emotion and impulse. A true man masters his emotions and uses them as a strength and as a tool. He is not dictated by his emotions as his reactionary response. And sadly, that's what we saw. We saw a man child yesterday. That's what we saw. Yeah, I mean, many grow. I mean, I'm not going to speak to infidelity in their relationship. I can't really speak to that because, like, I mean, I wasn't there. I don't know, right? I'm not going to speak to their personal stuff. That's their personal business, to be honest. And we don't even really like let them deal with that. That's for them as a couple to deal with, right? But I will comment on the way we carry ourselves in public, especially on basically one of the biggest industry nights of an industry I'm part of. You know what I mean? Hey, shit, son. I disagree, Wake and Bake now. I watched it in slow-mo. There was definitely actual contact. There was an actual audible microphone hit in the live stream of it because I watched it all live. It was real, dude. I think what we're noticing is that Will Smith doesn't know how to throw a slap, let alone a punch. So what you saw is that he had a weak wrist. So when he slapped, his whole body, and then he just went like this. His wrist he didn't even have a firm, locked up wrist. He just doesn't know how to throw. For a guy who's played a superhero and a badass a bunch of times, you'd think he'd know how to, carry his weight a little bit better. But it is what it is. It was the wrong choice regardless. But, if you're going to be an idiot, might as well do it right. Hey, yeah, no worries, Stony Baker MD. And we could do that, man. Tempering those sort of fiery parts of ourselves is a good thing, Well, John Noir. We're going to spread the love of the wee titties, of course. But you also got to remember, Uncle Potsquatch is a professional actor, writer, comedian, and filmmaker, and I have every intention of being in LA one day and running big projects over there. That's been one of my lifelong goals, actually. Dude, that's awesome, Reverend Veritas, and thank you very much, by the way. My goodness, you're being very generous today, and I appreciate it very humbly. Thank you so much, man. And your new isopod colony is expanding finally. I received a pregnant female with a marsupium full of eggs weeks ago, and the babies finally emerged. Dude, that's very exciting, Reverend Veritas. I'd love to see some pictures of that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, right. Wake and bake, never meet your heroes. Yeah, I don't know. It was a convoluted thing, Dagnus. You know what I'm saying? Website's up, not open for business yet, but will be very shortly, Jeremiah. In the end, we had to tell the one payment provider to take a hike because of the amount of money that they were going to be charging us for doing business. Basically, for every $1,000 of sales we would have done, automatically before anything, $200 USD would have been taken away from what they were going to charge us for all of that. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, we got another plan, got another payment provider we're working with that's not going to charge us an arm and a leg. So we should be up and running with the website real soon. No, exactly. Like he thought he was like, maybe Will was like, improving in the sort of the thing or something like that. You know what I mean? What's up, Kenneth Walls? Dude, that's awesome, Stony Baker MD. It's a great term in my humble 2 cents. I've lost seeds in my medium. I've lost seeds on the floor. I've lost seeds all over the place, man, I tell you. Yo, what's up, Wonky Donkey? No worries, buddy. The world and life does a lot to you as you age, Electro Illuminati, and keeping awareness and reality around you is important, especially when you get to that level of success, you know what I mean? One second here, everybody. Yeah, no, I was crazy, Electro Illuminati. I was running numbers when they were telling me all of these things for the payment portal. It was nuts. Wake and bake. I mean, I've seen certain OGs that maybe react that way. I don't remember like OG back in the day being that way, but again, we're accessing dusty brain files in my brain. You know what I'm saying? So, hell yeah, Gazzers. Which ones are you transplanting today? Were those all those little babies in the 110 I saw the other day? What's up, Vic Victor? How you doing, buddy? Mudswat says, I germinate, I believe this is a question. So I'm going to add a do I. Do I germinate more than what I'm going to grow in case they don't pop? Is that a waste? If so, what should I do? That's kind of a good question though, Mudswat. I mean, so for me, given that predominantly I'm growing regular beans, which means I get males and females. And if I want to have a final run, I want to do some breeding and shit as well, or some crosses with anything that may pop up. If I have an end result of wanting maybe, you know, 12 to 16 plants in my flowering room, and then I'd like to have at least two good males and a couple of females. I'm going to pop a little bit more than I need because some things will maybe throw one or two males to 10. Some things throw like half and half. I always personally pop a bit more than I need just to be safe, as well as if you got any ones that are kind of weaker phenos that aren't doing great. Typically, classically, we'll call out the weaker phenos on stuff, right? So. Has anyone ever used a toilet for hydro? Honestly, I could say I haven't. Maybe someone else has, but yeah. Damn, BMK, where was that dispensary at, buddy? What part of Canada is that in? I'm assuming it was Canada. Endgame. How do you identify a good male? Well, there is no necessarily one straight way of doing it. It depends on what you're kind of going for, and given the hybridization of a lot of things out there. So first, you're probably going to start by looking for a male that has sort of structure and leaf structure that to what your desired end result is. For me, seeing early onset of male glands, big glands, if they've got any cool color striations to their glands, that's a big deal. I also like to see males that stink. So if you've got a male that's early on starts to have like this really funky smell, like whatever the genetic typically will smell like, if you see that present within the plant, bro, that for me is a big deal too. So I like to see. Typically, I like to breed like a lot of indicas and indica-based structuring, and I like to have tight nodal spacing and kind of like the tree of life branching on stuff. So if I see a male that's going to have kind of a shorter, tighter kind of a node spacing to it, I'm seeing those really aggressive early onset nuts. I'm seeing some colors. I'm smelling it. It's stinking. And at the same time, aggressive. That's kind of going to be where I typically go for. But at the same time, I mean, it's all relative, I guess, too, in terms of what you're going for your breeding project. You know what I'm saying? Cadillac Jack J. Does tricolor indicate potency? Not necessarily. It can, the later pick with the ambering of the conversion of THC to CBN, etc., and that development or the ripening, shall we say, it will classically be more of a couch lock on a later pick, or like more of a heavy hit. You're like, whoa, I need to sit down, baby. Oh, damn, right? But at the same time, not necessarily though. It's not going to be like, oh, well, I see this color present, so I know it's got this level of THC. There's apps out there that claim to be able to analyze cannabinoid levels via a picture, and that's complete ludicrous crap. Because some stuff is super frosty but not very strong, and certain shit isn't necessarily overly frosty, but damn, it kick you in the dick. You know what I mean? So, right? Yeah. So no, not really. It kind of can in a sense, but not in the way that I think you're asking, though. It happens, Ashley. I hope that answers your question, by the way, Cadillac Jack. Electro-Illuminati, I mean, if I'm doing a back cross, or back crossing to reintroducing certain genetics, I might if it's a genetic trait I want, but I'm never going to do a feminized back crossing. So I'm against feminized back crossing. You can do that way. I mean, it depends on what I'm really going for, really, right? So, like for example, with the Orange Warrior Widow, one thing that I want to do is we've actually recently got our hands on, well, Gazzers did, and he'll have them soon, and I want to play with them as well. Black Widow from Shanti Bubba, which is the guy who did the original White Widow. It's actually called Black Widow from him now. And I'd love to have a Black Widow male introduce some more Widow genetics into that Orange Warrior Widow, and then from there I will probably just keep generationally selectively downplaying the gene pool, because also too Remember, when we back cross to an earlier state on that to a mother, we're not necessarily stabilizing it either. We're actually reintroducing an selectively reduced genome back into it. So we're actually opening it back up again and then leaning it towards the mother's traits as opposed to the father's. So I wouldn't call that back crossing it that way as a form of stabilization, but it is a form of getting the actual pheno or the genetic pheno makeup that we want to then begin stabilizing it, right? If that makes sense. What's up, Scully's House of Thrillers? Good to see you. It's been a while. I hope you're doing well. Bear with me here. Okay, good. I'm caught up then. But I'll tell you a fun story too, like about the Sasquatch strain that I developed way back in the hood days. Well, you got to remember though, ambering isn't a degradation of anything. Okay, ambering is a biochemical conversion of cannabinoids switching in altered states. So classically, we are seeing some THC convert into CBN. Okay, but that is not a conversion that's necessarily degrading THC. It is more, it's changing its state to another cannabinoid. Okay, so when ambering is occurring, we're watching cannabinoids shift state. But I wouldn't necessarily call that a degradation of THC. It will have a lower THC level with the ambering, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's weaker either, though. This obsession with high THC levels as that's the only thing that equals potency in cannabis is a kind of a total crock, in my humble 2 cents. What's up, Miss K's Garden? Hello. Welcome to the show, my friend. All right. And so I'm thinking also too that what we're going to do on the next run is we're definitely going Galactic Citrus Shiva, which is the Alien Rift into that one super tight noded origin to Kush. And then we're definitely going to pop a few of these blue cheese by GSC because as I was sharing the last show, Gaz was saying they're throwing some pretty good males too. So if we get a good male of that blue cheese out, one of the things I'd love to pop is I've got some UK triple cheese. I'd love to cross that into that and bring some more cheese back into that equation. I've got a 60-40 indica sat split cheese as well that I'd love to bring that back into. So I got a few things. I've actually got a Romulan by cheese as well that I think would be a great thing to cross with some blue cheese by GSC. That'd be rad, you know what I'm saying? And Scully's House of Thrillers, I mean, the one thing I've noticed too is to find a true cheese that really has that funky cheese scent, because the number one part of a cheese, because cheese structurally and flour-wise sometimes can look a little different. I think the number one attribute that really needs to play into a cheese is the smell, that nose. The nose on a cheese is what makes that cheese. I love me some cheese, man. Some cheese cannabis, like a proper cheese, is amazing. When I was over living in Holland, whenever I could get my hands on a proper cheese, it was something I got really, really genuinely excited about. You know what I mean? Like, it was something I very much enjoyed. Well, Cadillac Jack too. I mean, at the end of the day, like I feel you on that. So if you're worried about kind of the flippage, okay, in terms of a consumer, because this is what I do. I consult companies and I consult businesses on this kind of stuff. So if you're functioning in a market where THC numbers are the most important thing, okay, then you're going to be staying on the earlier side. You're going to be hitting that harvest at kind of 100% milk and maybe just a smidgen of ambering. And for your THC numbers, that's the way to do it. You know what I'm saying? If that's what your local market is dictating, and for you to be successful, you have to try to maximize your THC levels, then that's how you're going to approach that one. Yeah, right, Stoney? Say cheese. I've never actually tried the garlic cheese before, Ashley. That'd be a new one for me. Okay. If he's already gone, then never mind. And if he hasn't left yet, tell him I say bye, Ganjanana. I mean, Eugene Dolan, I mean, we'll never really know how many actual strains are out there, and everything has become so convoluted over the last 20 years. There's thousands, if not tens of thousands, of naturally occurring strains in cannabis that have been created by Mother Nature, and then there's vastly even more subsects and breakdowns after we started fucking around with them within it that way. But is there a definitive list? Is there a definitive anything? No, there's really not. And maybe one day we can work towards a catalog of stuff where we all are able to agree on certain strains and things like that. But so, there's not really necessarily a number per se. But there's a lot, man. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, everybody. I'm feeling peckish. So once the show is done, I'm definitely gonna be having some lunch myself. So. So, but yes, we're definitely going to be getting that Galactic Citrus Sheba going again. Or going again. We just created that. So, and it's an F1. So we're going to run some pheno hunting on that. We're going to do some of the blue cheese popping as well. And if we get a good blue cheese male going, we're definitely going to be, watching closely so we can pop a few other things to try to get some crossing going on there. You know what I'm saying? Well, and that's the thing, Electro Illuminati. Not only are you are correct, like actually mapping genomes of plants and this and that. We actually talked about this in the last show a bunch at the very beginning of it. I think it was the last show about the whole concept of spatial realities, and maybe it's an outdated way of talking about it, but not outdated in a way of where we get rid of the terms sativa and indica, but incorporate them in their meaning as more identifiers that are still very real within the cannabis in and of itself. Maybe it's not necessarily a spatial breakdown per se, but and part of the hard thing is not only is it genome mapping, but like how do we even know with certain things if we're even mapping it out right? Like we could say this is cheese. Like for example, the K-Town Kush by cheese that we did. It was an unknown cheese. It came from like a local guy out there, and it wasn't really cheesy. Like I personally like, even if it has some cheese in it, it has been bred in such a way that cheese does not bring real cheese to the table. So there's a point of contention to it there, right? Like, I mean, what's actually what at the same time, What's up, Herbie Horticulture to Infinity and Beyond? I agree. What's up, Yogi 420? Hey, how's Denmark doing? Cheers back to Denmark, my friend. I agree, Tony Clifton, wholeheartedly. What's up, Coastal Gardens NW? How you doing, my friend? All right, welcome to the show. Oh, Yogi the Bear. Good time. Sorry, everybody. I'm just reading everybody's messages. It's the same in the mushroom field. They started mapping out DNA and found that certain species were actually one species, but got a little different sort of names or subsects. Same will happen with cannabis strains and so on and so forth. I don't disagree with the Electro Illuminati. That's kind of the way I see. And I mean, especially in the world of cannabis, that environmental changes very much can change the function of a genetic. Both temperature, climate, moisture levels, where are we at in terms of sea level? You know what I mean? That's where OG Kush came from. Up in the mountains, it acted like a little sat plant, came down ocean level, and boom, all of a sudden indica, Cushy, etc. I'm doing well, Coastal Gardens NW. I'm doing well. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, I typically check my weights, Ganjanani or Mama. I usually start smoking them before I'm done trimming them, though, so it's never an exact weight because, I have a rough idea usually of what I do, and I'm always growing, so I'm not necessarily overly concerned. I'll put it to you this way. We were able to reduce our power consumption so much on this run that, like, I already know we killed it. Like, I can look at the rough weight of what I'm looking at drawing right now in front of me. And the fact that we were able to do that and cut our power bill to down to like $364, that is absolutely astonishing to me. Hey, Operation Annihilation, I don't disagree with one's right to defend themselves, but I will applaud Chris's rock and how he handled himself. That was a man controlling his stuff, not giving in to violence, even when violence was thrown upon him wrongfully. I applaud Chris Rock and how he handled that. 100%. Yeah, so Ashley Clifford, I never wet trim. I only dry trim. You are correct. You want your buds to slow or to dry as slow as possible. So I dry whole plant with most all the sugar still on it. And hell, this time we didn't even pluck all the micro fans either on it, just because it is a little drier down here with being so close to the furnace. So basically, cool temperatures, relative humidity of usually 55 to 60, and I like to shoot in a perfect world. My dry window is going to be 10 to 14 days. Sometimes a little trickier for me to get it quite that long down here just because it is quite dry with the furnace bumping all the damn time. But, you know, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Yes, so Michael CT Grows. How did we save money on this Grows run? A number of different ways. So, where the run before we ran 6 lights on, we only turned on 3 of our double squatch rigs. We ran with higher temperatures at lights on, so we set the AC to turn on at a much higher temperature, which reduced the power consumption of the AC. We then also reduced cost by the cost of our medium. So we used smaller pots, 2 and 3 gallons, which then, you know, we were able to use a single brick of Pro Mix HP for both starting and finishing, and we still had some left. With the smaller pots as well, there's less moisture being released even with the higher temperatures, which means our dehumidifier does not kick on that much. Our dehumidifier barely had to work at all this entire grow, so it did not kick on. And that puppy, when she kicks, man, she goes, I think she's drawing about 8.1 amps when she kicks on, right? So our power was reduced by both reducing the lights we were using while at the same time reducing the work of our secondary electrical pieces, which is AC and our dehumidifier. So yeah, I hope that helps. I mean, Stoney, at the end of the day, like you could, like, I trim this part of my neck here. So like underneath here is fine. But like this part here, kind of going all from down under the chin, just let it grow. That's where size comes from. Yeah, and Stony Baker MD, the real thing is getting past the itch stage on growing a beard. And hey, Michael CT Grows, no worries at all, my friend. You know, typically our power bill is going to be anywhere from $700 to $1,000 here at Potsquatch Growers for 2 months. Now, mind you, it's not just our grow that we're paying for with that. Obviously, I've got 2 fridges in house. I've got 2 sets of washers and dryers. You know, I've got lights, I've got TVs, I've got my office, right? You know, Miss Potsquatch has her office, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, you know, our power bill isn't 100% reflective, but it's very easy to basically say, my grow makes up a majority of my power consumption in my house. You know, Operation Annihilation, you know, I don't know if not pressing charges was the right choice as well. But I don't believe we're going to see this become a norm in the industry. I don't believe we're going to see this. I think this is all going to force a very real conversation about how we act, like violence and aggression in both comedy and in the world of art and acting. So you know, at the end of the day, you know, hey, maybe he should have, but I don't think that this is going to lead things to go into pot, quote unquote, no pun intended. I think we'll be okay. Oh, and Michael CT, another way you can also reduce on power consumption, okay, especially during the summer, is running your lights on at night. It's cooler temperatures, therefore your ACs will work less. That one stuff, that's again one of the loopholes that was used in the war on drugs to sell glass paraphernalia, claiming it was for tobacco when we all knew it never was meant for tobacco. You ever tried hitting tobacco through a bong? It's gross. Hey, you know, hey, it works, wake and bake, right? Eugene Dolan, I've read the same. I've read the same articles about the development of a man having a beard, and I don't believe that. A beard will reduce the impact of being punched in the head with a big beard. That's for sure, slightly. But I do not believe we evolved beards from punching each other in the head. I just don't buy that. Right? In Miss K's garden, not only is it a cheaper way to run lights on at night. Many places in the world will charge less for power at night on off-peak hours than they will with peak hours on. So those are some great tips as well, especially if you live in a part of the world where they charge more for power at sort of the high times of the day where there's more usage on the system or the grid. You know what I mean? Operation Annihilation, I've smoked milk bongs before. Milk actually does oddly have a very, very, very beautiful ability of filtering things out. It's actually a classic filtration thing used for a lot of spirits. There's a lot of vodkas, for example, that are filtered out by milk. It's a weird concept, but some of I don't like vodka. I think it's gross. But I've tried some milk filtered vodkas that were so smooth and astonishing. Oh my god. Yeah, right. Wake and bake now. It's real, especially if you're in an area where they're charging more for peak hours. Avoid that at all costs if you can. Very soon, Miss K. So as I was sharing, I think it was probably just before you came into the show today, we actually told the payment portal that we were working with to go take a hike because once I realized, because basically they were ferrying us over to a high-risk payment portal bank, so they were charging us money, they were charging us monthly fees, then this other bank was charging us even higher monthly fees and exorbitant per transaction charge, plus exorbitant percentages. It would work out to about 20% automatically gone off all sales before we've even factored in our overhead, our production costs, or anything. So it wasn't going to set us up for success or being able to bring things like our CBD line to market very affordably. So we told them to take a hike. We've got another one. We've got another plan, and it should be up and running, I'm hoping, within a week and a bit. My best guess is we'll have the website up and running before we even get to 420. But we will, for those of you who are in the BC area, or just over the border and want to drive up for the day. Yeah, I know, Stoney, it was fucked. Once I sat down and crunched the numbers of what they were saying, it was not feasible. It would have destroyed our attempt of starting it up. But we will be at 420. All the hats, t-shirts, and grinders will be there. The CBD will be there in limited supply. So, first come, first serve on the beard oils, the gummies, and the tinctures. I think I'm going to make some RSO tinctures and have them there, made by myself. We'll have some of this wonderful cannabis there. We'll have a bunch of things there just to sort of celebrate, the 420, as well as to make a marked protest of not prohibition anymore, but of the fact that legalization in Canada is a crock, and it's been priced in such a way that it's not really legal for the normal farmer, the normal grower, like a majority of us. It's legal for the rich, and I'm protesting. I'm asking for legislature to be drawn up that actually treats cannabis the way it should be, as well as creating a fair, inclusive, competitive industry that has space for both the small companies and big companies to coexist. Hell yeah. Operation Annihilation, yeah, milk filtering, it's a little weird, it's a little gross, but it's not bullshit. Milk does filter a lot of crap out. It's very real. You know what I'm saying? It's very real. It's used in the making of a lot of spirits and stuff, so. But yeah, no, 420 is going to be good, by the way, everybody. There's going to be a bunch of us. Some people have confirmed that they're going to come work the booth with me. Sadly, Mrs. Potsquatch won't be able to be there. She has to work. But I'm hoping maybe I can convince Caden Crooks at District Records to take the day off from work and come down. My buddy Elliot's going to be there. My buddy Andy should be there. Luna, who's our computer programmer, may be able to show up. There's going to be a bunch of us there working the table. I'm still building the list of people who are going to come volunteer their time to kind of work with me there. But we're going to be right in the heart of things. right in the middle of it. And it's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to it. Our table will be beside Canamatch.ca's table and the Beard Bros table. So it's going to be the Beard Bros, Canamatch.ca, and Uncle Potsquatch and the Potsquatches. Potsquatch Growers Army representing. And it's going to be a good time. We're also going to do a live stream around at least 420. Throughout the day, I think I'm just going to shoot a bunch of footage so we can kind of make a video of the event as well afterwards, which would be fun. But if you've ever wanted to meet Uncle Potsquatch, if you ever wanted to, and this will probably be arguably one of the only times where you might be able to grab some of our genetics affordably before we go legal, because we're going to have some of those there too. There are only F1s. They're just the start of us playing with some stuff. But at the end of the day, it's still fun, right? And we will price accordingly given that. So yeah, and it's all going to be limited supply. So, first come, first serve, really. But if you want to come up, come on, check us out. You know what I mean? If you don't see me, you'll hear me. I would normally say you smell me too, but everybody's smoking weed, so hard to say, We're just waiting for our official confirmed table number, etc., and confirmed location of everything. And once we have that information, we will bring that public for all of you, so everybody knows where to go. And yeah. So Jolly Wally, is that on a photo? Because that's astonishing. I've never seen a photo being done enough to my liking before week 8 or 9. But that's just me, and I have my own levels of enjoyment, shall we say, in terms of where I like to take things down. One, is it an auto, buddy, or what? And what are you rocking, man? Yeah. So Operation Annihilation, we will rock a live stream for the last part of the event, or probably like maybe half an hour to 40 minutes before 420, up to 420, and then for maybe a bit after. So we will rock a live stream for at least an hour on the day. But it's such a busy event. Like it's been known to get up to 20 to 30,000 people. We're going to be in the thick of it. So I won't be able to do a lot of live streams during the day. We will do a live stream from the event, and I am also going to shoot a bunch of stuff at the event so we can release a video of the event afterwards as well. No I'm saying. Huh. What's the strain, Jolly Wally? That's astonishing. Almost unheard of. I'm curious. But yeah, no, it's going to be fun, everybody. Like, I'm looking forward to it. So the beard oil is going to be there. We're going to have the gummies there. We're going to have the tinctures there. Some of this is going to be there. We're going to have all the hats and t-shirts and all of that, and papers, and hell, we'll even have enough papers on hand so you can buy a couple packs, or if you want to buy a big box to take home, we'll make that priced accordingly, and that'll be the best deal, obviously, on Uncle Potsquatch's rolling papers there. And hell, if you want me to sign your shirt or autograph anything, we can do that, and we're not going to charge you money for that. You want to take a picture with Uncle Potsquatch for your social media? Fuck yeah, totally down. Come have fun. We're going to treat it kind of like a weed Comic-Con. Huh. All right. Cool, Jolly Wally. Dude, you should email me some pictures. I'm curious to see these ladies. They sound intriguing. Were you having too much fun, though, with it, Stoney? Were you having too much fun with it? Because I could see a cowbell proving to be maybe a little bit annoying. You know what I mean? Huh. Cool, Jolly Wally. I'm impressed. I've never seen a genetic finish that quickly, so that's cool. You could just do an impersonation of Didgeridoo then, Stony Baker MD. Well, you got to remember, Stony Baker MD, part of an adult relationship is learning how to respect our partners, coexist with our partners, and not kill each other, right? So, maybe her taking away that cowbell is probably the right thing to do. Oh, good times. But I will say, everybody, I'm super stoked for the next run. I can't wait to see what this Galactic Citrus Shiva does. I'm excited. Paper scratcher, are Americans allowed? Yep, as long as you're allowed are able to legally get into our country over the border. So simply put, obviously, felonies and stuff like that. Our government's pretty strict on entry into the country over that. But there's actually a huge amount of Americans that drive up to the 420 event in Vancouver because it's basically a 420 event, the likes of which pretty much you will almost never see anywhere else. 420 in Vancouver, it's very much a thing. It's been going on since I was a kid. When I was a kid going to 420 in Van City, maybe at like the age of like 13, 14, it'd be maybe like 6 or 7 thousand people at the time. Every year it got bigger and it got bigger. After a number of years, it got so big that they moved it down to Sunset Beach, and so it's been down there for many years. I've heard rumors that it might move again because the city was never wild about it being at Sunset Beach either. But like last 420, I think it got up to almost 30,000 people. If not, it hit 30,000 people. So this year, being the first one since COVID, I think it could be the biggest one ever. Like it'll be easily 20 to 30,000 people showing up to this thing throughout the day and throughout the event. Well, Jolly Wally, I mean, now I can make some suggestions on that. Now, my question is though, Jolly Wally, do you prefer sat realities or more of an indica feel reality? What is your personal preference in that regard? Oh, it's fun. I can hear my dogs howling. Can you hear them? Silly puppies. I'll be upstairs soon. So then, paper scratcher. No, if you got no felonies, hell, no even traffic tickets, you should be fine. You should be able to get up here into the country. James Mercer, no. I don't feel the need to lab test any of my personal stuff. I don't really care about the THC levels, and to be fair, I'm not necessarily even overly concerned about the actual terpenes that are present. I'm a little old school when it comes to testing my cannabis. It's called smell, taste, hit. If I like it, great. If I don't, no. I'm old school in that way, and I'm not really worried about THC levels, and I'm not even worried about really testing THC levels as we breed. I'm old school, new school. So a lot of my techniques on stuff is sort of a weird blending of old school realities and new school realities. So no, definitely won't be doing that. Nothing wrong with that, UK genetic. You can always trade, baby. Sounds good, Potsquatch. Totally Operation Annihilation. And, I was doing this one grow one time, and I was working on it. It was when Adam Squatch was there, and I had a bunch of rings on. And it was when I tied them off and then, like, trained everything down and out. So, like, a whole quarter of this plant was like a big knuckle at the top of the stalk, and my ring that I was wearing clipped it and popped it off, and it, like, split. I actually did on that one an experiment where I was like, I want to see if I could super glue this back together. So I didn't put the glue on the inside of it, right? I held it back, and then I coated on the exterior with super glue. Took a while to hold to set it up, but it totally worked though, because I figured, hey, if I could super glue me cutting myself open, wonder if I could do it for a plant. And it worked. Totally worked. It was interesting. Oh yeah, there'll be shrooms there too, Electro Illuminati, for sure. Most definitely. Right? I mean, Miss K's Garden, you know what I mean? Like, it's not that I'm not necessarily curious about, I definitely always have curiosity about the terpene breakdowns and cannabinoid breakdowns of things. But do I feel that having them tested is an important part for my development of genetics? No. No. Because really, my experience is like, I'm not buying a bag of weed and then going and taking it and checking all these things. I'm buying a bag of weed and I'm smoking it. Either I like it or I don't. Or there's parts of it I like and there's parts that I don't. You know what I mean? Hell yeah. James Mercer, have I grown shrooms? No. I've got a lot of friends who produce the strongest magic mushrooms in the world. I've eaten shrooms all over the world, and there's a couple of producers here in BC, Canada, that just what they're doing is so much better than anything else anyone in the province or the rest of the world is doing, in my humble 2 cents. So typically, no, I just go grab them. I get a big old bag, buy in bulk and volume, and it's cheaper, you know. And hey, Electro Illuminati, let Arjun go that route, And there's like I always say to you guys, girls these days, there's 1,001 ways to the same destination, you know. And what works for Arjun may not work for Uncle Potsquatch, or what works for Uncle Potsquatch may not work for you. And that's part of the way to be. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm not worried about that, Electro Illuminati. I got the nose of a drug dog. I'm blind and deaf, but man, I can smell. And that's the only test I need. Yeah, I'm certainly a cheaper machine. That's true, Reverend Veritas. I'm definitely a cheaper machine than taking it to a lab. That's for sure. Yeah, so Miss K's Garden, I do the same thing. I call it my paper mache technique, where I take organic papers and then I use them as almost like a paper mache. Sometimes if I need a little extra oomph, maybe I'll put some twine around it, like a hemp twine, or if I've got some baling wire, like some thin, like little thin baling wire, might reinforce it there briefly, and then I'll remove that after it's healed. But yeah, no, very valid technique, and I love it because when you use the paper towel, the rolling paper technique, or the paper mache technique, as I like to call it, as it grows, once it grows past a point of the kind of cast almost that you've made on it, it'll just split it, and it'll keep growing. Yeah, so John Noir, there's a lot of naturally occurring psychedelic magic mushrooms here in BC as well, but there's also a lot of varieties that look identical to a lot of the psychoactive varieties, and you have to be very, very careful, or you'll get sick or die. You have to be very careful. And so that's one thing I'll say anywhere in the world to someone wanting to go out naturally, go looking for different types of fungi in the woods. Totally valid, totally fine, but be very, very careful, because especially here in BC, there's a lot of ones that'll kill you or make you really sick, and they look eerily the same. What's up, JP Page 2? How you doing, my friend? No, so Christus Fralsaren, we actually are our own lighting brand. We are the most affordable professional grade tech in the world. We're the only company that's developing our lights to also be fixed and upgraded. If Texas Squatch is back, he can share the link, because I know he's got the right one. But we actually are our own lighting brand. And, Ganjana does have it. Yeah, you do, girl. Thank you. It's the new link that says product category. The other one was a broken link because we changed the pathways on that. So, Christus Fralsaren, we already have built in the discount into our lights. We are cheaper than our competitors. We do not have the ability to make them as cheaply as they do, yet we are cheaper than they are when we bring them to market. We don't make a huge amount per rig, okay? Because we're not greedy. We're gonna make our money by beating the prices of our competitors, and we are all about bringing reliability. We actually, in fact, only use top shelf or top bin diodes, real mean wells. There was a point in time at the beginning of the pandemic where we bought out every single real mean well driver in all of North America before anyone else was able to do that. So Christus Fralsaren, Cadillac Jack here, he runs his company predominantly exclusively with our lighting systems. I think that Cadillac Jack, out of everyone in the world, and there's 3 or 4 companies now that use our lights, I think Cadillac Jack owns the most Squatch rigs ever. Something stupid, like 19 or 20 plus of them. And he's even had us build some custom, like super big giant Uber ones for him too. So yeah. But so at the end of the day, once in a blue moon a year, we do sales. Typically around Christmas time, we'll do a small one. Sometimes maybe on 420 or Black Friday, we might do one. I don't know if we're planning one for this 420. But put it to you this way, even if you don't buy them on sale, they're the most affordable professional grade tech around, and we're the only company that makes them fixable and upgradable. So if out of warranty, if something breaks, we've kept our build simple, so you can fix it at home, and we'll sell you a replacement part inexpensively, and we'll teach you how to do that too. That's part of what we stand. We're growers building lights for growers, and in response to crap bullshit like Mars Hydro or lies of Spider Farmer misrepresenting the parts in theirs, or other companies, the bigger ones like Fluence, HLG, Gavita, all these other people charging way too much for what they're doing. And again, daylight robbery, because I know how cheaply they're making these lights, but they're so big and such a corporate structure. We're here to empower people. the number one basis or foundation of anything we do as a company, anything we do as a product line, is to make it affordable, reliable, and accessible. People empowerment is the basic foundational element to anything we do. And that's what's behind our thinking on anything we do in the industry. So yeah, check them out. I believe the link should be above there for you, Christus Fralsaran. If you see that link there, soulstrip.com/product category/squatch lights, Ganjanana shared there, that'll take you to there. So you've basically got the little squatch, the big squatch, the double squatch, and the double squatch racks. Double squatch racks are obviously available in a 3050R, 301B dually. That one has 4 bars to it, and they're thicker strips. Where the X2 version, which is the 301H, that has, I think that one comes with 6 bars, but they're thinner strips though too. So it's kind of a point of preference. That one comes out at a 3500 Kelvin with far red. We've got 2 different reds on the 3050Rs, and that one's a dually spectrum with a 2700 and 5000 Kelvin color chip, which then averages out to about 3700 Kelvin color. Both options, all options of our lights will veg and flower. They will take care of the full thing for you, and you don't have to worry about that one. JP Page 2, I haven't started them yet, just because I'm still harvesting seed and all of that, but I will have them started very soon, though. So we'll get them going pretty soon. I'm pretty much going to get them going on the soak before I go to the industry event, so I'm going to be away for the office that night. So basically, Thursday, I'm going to start them up, and then I got to go to an event, but we'll be getting those going this week, JP Page 2. Reverend Veritas, again, thank you. My God, you are being so very generous today, Reverend, and I truly, humbly appreciate it. It really does go a long way to help us keep the lights on here. This is what we do for a living now exclusively, so I appreciate it. So Reverend Veritas says, funny story. I once had a big bag of dried morel mushrooms seized and stolen by the local police because they might be treated with something. Oh, man. Really? Oh, sounds like American cops for you, right? Like, my goodness. So, Christus Fralsaran, any of the double squatch options for a 4x4 are going to 4x4. They can do even up to a 6x6 easily. So whether you go on a double squatch racks or a double squatch, the only difference really between the double squatch and that, I mean, if you go with the X4 board option, there's no reds in there. And let's be honest, adding in these reds really until we hit the average par rating of the sun on the planet, which is about 2600 par, they're not as important as a lot of people seem to play them off to be. So really, I don't personally feel they're overly required, but it's where everyone likes to go in the industry with it now. But whether you pick the double squatch with any of the strips or the X4 boards, whether you pick the double squatch racks, whether it's the 3050R X3s or the X2 301H 3500s, all will kill a 4x4 and rock and roll in there. And they will easily take care of you. Hell yeah, Adam. I'm very happy to you, and humbly thank you to the wife of Adam for allowing him to buy a toy. Long story short, we really believe in what we do. We really believe in what we create. We saw a need in the industry for affordable, reliable, real tech. And so that's why we did that. Why did we release our CBD line? Why did we have that coming out? Because, well, we saw a need in the industry for reliable and affordable clean CBD. Why are we developing genetics and bringing those to market? Well, because we saw a need for reliable, stable, and affordable, accessible genetics. Again, people empowerment, standing with people and addressing issues within the industry is a big part of what we do. That sounds sexy, UK Genetics. Dankness Genetics says sweating back out flushing. Wait, what? Oh, you're sweating out back while you're flushing your plants? Hey! They must have made some soup, Reverend Veritas. I bet you they made soup. That's my guess. Yes, I agree with Miss K's add-on to Operation Annihilation. Wire is totally okay as long as you don't forget to remove it or loosen the wire, which is very true because it'll eventually cut into the plant as it grows out and it will balloon out over and engulf the wire into itself. So yeah, Miss K is not wrong on that one. Adam Specht, any one of the double options, so whether it's double squatch or double squatch racks, and any of the options that we carry in terms of diodes will rock a 4x4 as well. Excuse me. Dude, that's a lot of morels. You probably ate the whole bag like, I don't feel nothing. Yeah, right, Stony? Yeah, so Christus Fralsaren, we're a lighting brand. We're a CBD line, soon to be a genetics line. We've got a television show for the last 4 years in development. We just got to get it paid for to actually produce it. We've got a lot of things in development as well, and we're just getting started. So by the time I kick the bucket one day, we're going to have left a lot behind for the cannabis community to keep on playing with. You know what I'm saying? Fuck. Sorry, everybody. Stony goes, growing in a toilet bowl? Man, you can flush your plants nicely. I mean, like, man, I love the literalism of that joke. I quite enjoyed that. Karen Sawchuk says, I got one seed out of 2 different female clones. So typically, Karen, what we call that, or what I call that, and many in the industry call that, is we'll call that the gift seed. So if you don't see any signs of nanners, there was nothing there, but you get this 1 or 2 seeds off of just one plant, right? We call that the gift seed. Classically, that's a thing to be celebrated and excited about. I wouldn't really worry too much, and I would play with that. Dankness Genetics says flushing to clarify. Are you asking for clarification on flushing? I don't think you are. What are you asking? I'm confused. Hey! No, they're not bad, Stony, that's for sure. Tommy D, Squatch for life. Hey, man. Hell yeah. Much love, Tommy D. Hell yeah, Tony Clifton. How they looking so far? What's happening, Malcolm Smith? Good to see you, buddy. So Christus Fralsaren, we don't mount the driver to the lights. Mounting a driver to the lights is a stupid decision that any company that does it is wrong because that is producing a shitload of secondary heat that you're then going to be flushing and reducing the effectiveness of the heat sink in and of itself. So we build ours on leads. We build our big lights into 2 fixtures. One, so it gives you 2 places where you can play with it. It gets you greater coverage, greater balance of power for your grow, greater adaptability. But we build them on 4 or 5 foot leads. So you can actually mount that driver outside of your tent. So then you're not going to be dealing with the residual secondary heat issues with inside the tent. And it's just a smarter way to do it. So we don't mount our drivers to the lights. We build our lights into 2 fixtures on the big ones, and then they run into the driver, and then you can mount the driver on the wall. You can mount it on your own heat sink. You can just sit it on top of your tent. You can do whatever you'd like to. There you go, Karen. Hell yeah, the gift seed, baby. It's a real thing. Oh, well, there you go, Christus Fralsaren. All is good in the hood, baby. Right, Tony? Get the Learjet ready. All right, I'll be there. I'll meet you at the airfield. Yeah, Eugene Dolan. Occasionally we have ideas that make sense. Once in a blue moon. Nah, you good, Karen. You good. Now, if you found like hundreds and hundreds of seeds in there, I would say maybe we had some Hermes that we didn't catch, and that'd be a different reality. Or someone somehow pollen bombed your grow. But no, 1 or 2 seeds ain't a big deal. We call that the gift seed. Just happens sometimes. Yeah, Eugene Dolan, I totally agree with you because not only if you mount it to your heat sink or to the light itself, I mean, you're actually like hitting the heat sink from 2 different heat sources, which is reducing the actual efficacy of reducing heat from the tech. Because the whole point of the heat sink is to pull heat out and away from the chips and the strips, right? And the functioning parts. So, and then at the same time, like the driver throws out a lot of heat. Drivers produce heat, ladies and gentlemen. They produce a lot of heat. So if you can set up your tent where you don't have to have that driver in the tent, that's a good thing. It's going to make your temperatures much more manageable, especially during summer months, etc. Hey, there you go, Stony. I dig it. I dig it. Well, my friends, my family, it is been a great show. It is we're approaching the hour and a half mark, and sadly, I'm very busy today. I got a lot of shit to try to get done, and so my friends, my family, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for supporting this channel, liking and subscribing and being part of this family. For all of you who made donations, and my God, Reverend Veritas, especially you, thank you ever so much. It really, truly helps us keep the lights on here. For those of you who are new here, welcome to the family, welcome to the army. And get ready for a good time. We are a place for all. Check us out on Facebook. There's a public figure thing. There's a company page. But we actually have a Facebook community. It's called the Potsquatch Growers community on Facebook. Please answer the questions. It is a liability. And then we can just let you into the group. All right? All right. So check that out. We also have a Discord. I don't have the link handy to the Discord, but I can't actually share links. I'm just using my cell phone right now to do this. So, but there is a Discord server. Maybe we can get someone to all post that up as an announcement on the Facebook for anyone who's there. So come check it out. Remember, the true grower is the forever student. The true grower makes educated, stupid decisions. The true grower is not afraid to take risks. Also, remember, we learn more excuse me, from our mistakes than we do our successes. Mistakes happen, okay? When issues happen and occur, don't panic, okay? 2, don't panic. 3, have a bit of a little cry. And then 4, figure out what you're going to do. More often than not, there's something we can do to address an issue. It's not the end of the world. We as growers, the more and more we fall in love with it, we often panic or overthink things. That's why our fellow growers are part of the Hood team, and we stand with each other, we empower each other, we share our knowledges with each other, and we help each other address issues. So check it all out. All right. Today's Monday. We'll have a show Wednesday. There'll be a show Sunday. And whenever we end up getting to a point of where I can start trimming this, I'll release a trim video as well. We're going to be getting the vegetable garden videos going sort of within the next week and a bit. We're also going to be, getting the next beans going as well. So all of that's going to be happening. And so lots to look forward to. And book it off on your calendars if you're in the area or can be. Come check us out at 420. Van City, baby. 2022. All right. Keep it real. Keep it sexy. Keep it squatchy. Word to your mother. I love you. We'll see you next time. Peace.